Hello. Happy Thursday, happy Friday, Junior. Hey Michelle, is this being used, the correct microphone?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. How's it going? Peak Mom 726. I hope I said that right. Hi Bill, happy Thursday to you. Today's my favorite day of the week. It's Friday, Junior. How's it going, Red Plastic LLC?
Red Petals LLC.
Wow, that was really bad reading on my end. Thank you, Red Petals. What are your guys' names and where are you joining us from? How was your day today, Bill? We're gonna share our topic with you guys, which is, Michelle, what is it?
Today's BOLO Thursday. BOLO is be on the lookout. So every Thursday we look for really cool items to look out for when you go sourcing. So we're doing vintage hats today.
All right. Oh yeah, that's right. You're having issues. So the sump pump replaced. No more buckets. So was that something that I know you just recently purchased a home? Is that something that like is just one of the effects of owning a house, owning a home? How's it going? Kathy is posh. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday, Junior to you. Nikki's here. Glow Girl Glow.
Hi, Nikki.
How are you, Nikki? So today's topic is vintage hats, and it is BOLO Thursday. So what we try to do on BOLO Thursday is that we want to cover a topic that, when you're sourcing, you can keep an eye out for that. Maybe you haven't, paid attention to this topic, paid attention to it before or recently. We definitely have delved into vintage hats before on accident. And that's why we chose this topic. So
yeah, and many times when we go to thrift stores, there's always like these cool hats, but we don't know what to buy. So this is really great information.
Yeah. All right. So let's get started here. So a couple of things about the vintage hats that we're going to discuss. We're specifically focusing on like baseball cap style hats,
Trucker hats and snapback.
Yeah, in particular, trucker hats and snapbacks. And so the trucker hat phenomenon came out in the 1980s, and they were actually created by like farming companies for like promotional stuff. Like they were just given away for free. And then they really kind of caught on in the 90s. They were really popular just in pop culture, and everyone had like a trucker hat at that time. I remember I did. And Nikki says, yes, I love snapbacks. Yeah, hats are really cool. We wear like hats. We're supposed to wear hats today. We totally forgot. How's it going, Level Up Thrift? Happy Thursday to you.
I should wear one.
And yeah, we were definitely supposed to wear our trucker hats today, and we forgot. But yeah, so that's kind of it.
Okay, let's start. Speaking of farming, let's start with the first one. So these are vintage farming companies or farms in the 70s. And we have this Carnation Research Farm hat sold for $264. We have another one. It's a dairy company, Dairy Farm, that's sold for $130. So when you go sourcing, if you see these are really BOLOs.
Yeah, and the thing about these is we try not to do like unicorn items on BOLO days because we want you guys to have opportunities to include these in your business. But with these ones, it's interesting. It's unique because a lot of these are like unicorns, because back then in the 80s, they were like small farms, right? And so they're not like well-known brands. One thing that's interesting though is that a company called K, like Kmart, like the letter K, called K brand, K products. They were kind of in charge of making a lot of these promotional items for the companies, so that's well known. Another thing that you can look for is, if you're not familiar with a trucker hat, it's really just like, regular fabric hat in the front, and then in the back it's got mesh, right? And then on the very front, a lot of these had patches, right? I remember patches from when I was like a Girl Scout back in the 90s. I was a Girl Scout, and you would do like different things as a Girl Scout, and you would collect patches to wear on like your vest. Yeah. So again, this was like from that time, like the 80s and 90s. Patches were really big. People would buy them and iron them on clothes and whatnot. Okay, so that was the first one. Was how's it going? Shop Style Finity Mar. Happy Friday Junior to you. And hello, Funko XO and moving on the bay. Happy Friday Junior to you guys.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This is CocaCola. It's always classic American brand Coca-Cola. If you see a vintage Coca-Cola hat made in USA, definitely please take them. And those have really high resale value. This one we're looking at is a 3-stripe bar. If you look at the hat, there are 3 stripes on the sides, both sides, and this was sold for $920. There's another one that also has 3 stripes that sold for $495.
Yeah, and the first one that sold for $920 was like on a bid systems on eBay, right? So all of our comps that we're getting for you for the BOLO Thursday are from eBay, and they're also everything that's sold within the last 3 months. So that's how you know it's like it's current. There's plenty out there. Mar said she is popping to say, hey, keep doing your thing, ladies. We appreciate that, Mar. Thank you so much. Same to you. We met Mar at Poshmark.
I remember
Posh Fest last year.
Yeah.
We met her at Posh Fest last year in person. It was really fantastic. She said she was one of like 2 Canadians from visiting us, which was so awesome that we got to meet you. And she's going to be a speaker this year at Posh Fest.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So that's really exciting. Okay, so yeah, the Coca-Cola ones. The second one we talked about was just bought right off the market on eBay. So the soda, right, which we call soda in the West Coast, and I think in the East Coast people call this drink pop or something like that, right? P-O-P, pop, soda pop, and so those were really popular. So Michelle talked about Coca-Cola. Pepsi Cola is another one that was popular. And so, hi, Daniela. Happy Friday Junior to you. So, yeah, Pepsi Cola. So, there's one here that you see here for $529.99. It sold right off of eBay. And there's another Pepsi hat that sold for $500. So, these are more common than one might expect. How's your Thursday going? Happy Thursday, Hess Gina.
So if you compare Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola is actually more rare. And something that you could tell that it's vintage is from the logo. The original Pepsi Cola has it spelled out. It literally says Pepsi and then Cola. Whereas the newer logo is like a round emblem with the word Pepsi in the middle.
Yeah, Michelle's in branding and marketing, so she pays attention to little things like that, which are important. But both of these hats, one sold for $529.99 plus shipping, and the other one sold for $500 plus shipping. So those are both pretty darn good.
Cool. All right, one more soda brand. This is Mountain Dew. So Mountain Dew has been around forever, and this is
like pre-Red Bull, what you would drink to get like super high on caffeine.
Yeah, I remember all the skaters and all the people who do extreme sports, they would drink Mountain Dew.
That's true.
And not Monsters. Back then they didn't have those. Right?
They didn't have Monster or Red Bull. I used to drink Mountain Dew. It was so good.
So this one, this vintage hat, SnapBack, was sold for $510, and here's another one with a green stripes on the side, sold for $300.
So again, the second one Michelle's talking about has a 3, what do they call those? Like solid stripes on each side. So that's something to look for. And then the first one that sold for $510 was sold through the bidding system on eBay.
Yeah, so anything with the 3 stripes are actually worth money. So be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Okay.
So another one here that's pretty popular. Again, we mentioned that these hats started in the 80s, and it was like farming companies that began this whole kind of phenomenon. And tractor companies jumped on. Actually, everyone jumped on. All companies jumped on. So those are really popular. If you could find, like in the example here, we have a vintage Ford tractor snapback that sold for $310. And then we have another full mesh trucker hat from John Deere, which is another tractor company that sold for $275.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, and then Bill has a comment actually, and we were actually wondering, Bill, if you're familiar with these, because I think you were like a teenager, right, during that time. So Bill said all of these brands are also tied to NASCAR, by the way, huge in the 80s and 90s. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and that's another one that we're gonna definitely talk about. Didn't know it was 80s and 90s where it was huge though.
Yeah.
You know, the NASCAR racing. That's really cool. Thanks for saying that. All right, next one.
So next one, Harley Davidson. Again, so we've got two examples here. This first one is, what do you call that? Like a sailor?
I really don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what kind of hat that is.
Yeah, there's a name for that. But the second one it's a baseball hat with 3 stripes, orange stripes on the side. So anything with stripes, again, those are very much rare and worth money.
Yeah, okay. So we have Daniela who says she loves vintage Harley. That's cool. Like any kind of vintage Harley stuff is like shirts and whatnot. So Harley's definitely always a hot thing to get, especially vintage. So another one is like gas stations. A popular gas station back at that time was 76 gas station. So we have a hat that sold for $680 with the 3 stripes on the sides, which was a 76 gas station for $680 with 45 bids. So that was on the bidding system. And then just like another cute hat, 76 hat for $225. So Bill said that hat you were wondering about, the name
Captain Hats. Thank you, Bill. I was calling it a sailor hat. I don't know why. All right, this next one, NASCAR. NASCAR, Bill, you're correct. NASCAR hats, vintage hats are huge. We actually have quite a collection of NASCAR hats from a collector.
Yeah, we sold a bunch of them though.
So, first one here is Dale Earnhardt. He's a legend. He was a legend. And this was sold for $355. And the second popular one is Bill Elliott. And this hat was sold for $345. So if you see any NASCAR hats, look for Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott.
Yeah, we got our hands on a bunch of vintage hats. They weren't this old. They were probably from like the 90s. I feel like some of these are from the 80s, but our Dale Earnhardt hats just went like that. So definitely popular. There's still some diehard NASCAR fans out there. And so Daniela said t-shirts, leather jackets, vest, boots, you name it. And old school Harley bikes, but I'm not reselling those, just admiring. That's awesome. Yes, definitely. Died at the Daytona 500, sad day. Oh, I didn't know that. So that would explain a lot as to why he's so popular. We did not know that.
Okay, the next category is auto. So anything auto parts related, also very popular. Here, the first one, we have Autometer. And this was sold for $350. And we've got another brand called Motorcraft. They make auto parts from the 80s, sold for $200.
Yeah, so again, this is agreeing with what Bill said about how NASCAR was so popular. So a lot of like oil companies, of course, farm tractor companies and car part companies. All right. Yeah. So one of those sold as in the bidding system, and one just didn't. So
It was a buy it now.
one was a buy it now. All right. So moving on to later on, past the 80s, now heading into the 90s, right? So NFL hats. We have a Green Bay Packers hat. Like, I remember this hat. Like, I remember so many people had this specific hat with the big G, and then half of the hat is green, the other half is yellow. Like, I could clearly remember some of my classmates when I was in like middle school used to wear this hat to school. Anyway, one sold for $710 off of the bidding system on eBay. The next hats that are extremely popular are the Los Angeles Raiders hats. There's a bunch of different styles of these that are being sold. And we have 2 examples here that sold for $3.50 and $3.25. How's it going, Iris Galleria and Cassidy Turley 5? Happy Friday Junior to you.
Thanks for joining. Okay, moving on to basketball, NBA. So we've got, of course, Los Angeles Lakers, very popular. This was a hat that has some graffiti graphics on it from the 90s. This was sold for $900 just because it was brand new. It's got 26 bids on it. And so the second popular one is Denver Nuggets, and this was sold for $419. This was also brand new. It had a tag on it. So I guess a lot of people collect them and they don't really wear them.
I mean, I saw a bunch of like Chicago Bulls in there. There were different teams. I saw some Clippers in there, but that could also just be because we live near LA and that's what was showing up for us. But yeah, if you can find new ones, it's worth more, obviously, than if they are used. We have run into vintage Laker championship hats at estate sales and at garage sales. So they are out there. All right, so the next one here is Major League Baseball. We have our highest, the highest hat I think we are showing today is from the Black Sox. And
White Sox.
Oh, sorry. Gosh, another fail. From the White Sox, and it's just a black hat that says Sox across it, and it sold for $1,250. Then we have a Dodgers hat, brand new, and then a super vintage California Angels hat that you cannot even recognize as being a California Angels hat. And that one sold for $400.
Okay, all right, moving on to fashion brands. So Polo Ralph Lauren. We actually have sold this, here. We have sold this, a white one, Polo Sport, Ralph Lauren. Not a lot of money, not as much as $700 that we see here, but those are always good to find. And so this one's from 1992. USA Polo Ralph Lauren sold for $700, and we've got a second one with a flag, with the American flag in the front, sold for $325. And it's got 29 bids on that one.
Yeah, it's interesting to know which ones sell off of the bidding system and which ones are just like straight out purchased.
Sorry. I missed a couple. So, all right. Cool.
Yeah, so another category is a Chattanooga Shoe, which was like a tobacco was really big back, back at that time. So that one, we have 2. One went for $7.95, buy it now. Another one went for $6.50, buy it now. They're really cool, actually. They have a train on it, and when you think of a train, you think like choo choo, and then that's like a play on word because tobacco, you chew it, right? So Bill said 1992, I was in Iraq. What the heck? Oh my gosh. For which hat? Are we talking about is it delayed a little bit?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, 1992. That was so long ago. Wow.
That's a Polo.
Oh, okay. Got it. The Polo, yeah. I think our internet's a little delayed. All right. So,
all right, this next Bolo one is Marvel. So Marvel hat, these are called blockhead superhero hats. So anytime you see a hat with a Marvel character's face on the front, they're worth a lot of money actually. So this one is super rare. Magneto. Magneto's face is in the front. It's $2,500. And then the next one is a Spider-Man, and that was sold for $510 with 13 bids.
Yep. So the Magneto one was purchased like straight off the bat, and the Spider-Man had bids. So yeah. So that's also the Marvel brand, 100%.
Okay.
All right. So to continue, the Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy Hilfiger, we have one that sold for $350. Buy it now. Another one sold for $125. Buy it now. I think these are brand new. It's funny because in the description it says like hip hop, rap, Snoop. So, I mean, that must be like a thing, right? One's brand new, one's pre-owned. So I guess, yeah. So honestly, it doesn't even really matter if your item is rare. It's gonna be worth money.
And then the last one we have is McDonald's. Any McDonald's, I think these are McDonald's employees' hat. I really don't know. But it's got 3 stripes on the side, and this was sold for $250. And we've got a Gatorade logo hat from the 80s, sold for $100.
It's like from a branding and merchandising perspective, it's like the hats are so simple. They're literally just maybe the color of the product and then the logo on a patch. Mm-hmm. They're so stinking cool, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
they're so awesome.
And the ones with the 3 stripes are really growing on me.
They're growing on you.
I think I want to buy
funny.
one now.
All right, best of luck finding one. A cheap one.
Okay, all right, so that is it. We've got our meme here, and the meme has a lady who's wearing a brimmed hat, and the meme says, "I like a big brimmed hat, great for storing snacks."
That's like a kind of like one of those mariachi hats.
Yes, I didn't think about it.
That's
put
funny.
Food on top.
And then Bill said that for sure that was an employee's hat for McDonald's. He remembers when he was a kid.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. You remember that, Bill? Insane. All right. Well, that actually ends the vintage hat Bolo Thursday. Bill said it looks like a nacho bowl. It totally looks like a nacho bowl. And you always make me want to eat guacamole and nachos, Bill. And we haven't had dinner, and I'm going to go eat some tortilla chips now. Thank you so much. But thanks for joining us tonight. We hope that this adds value to your thrifting game. Just remember, vintage hats are out there. We've run into them a lot during estate and garage sales. They are there, and look for them. Look for them, and hope it adds some value to your bottom line.
Yep.
Have a wonderful
night,
and thanks for joining us. We appreciate
you.
it, Bill. Bye.
Bye.